today we'll be talking about in your reading, I'm sure, Ikto was there. You know, he's been there all that time during the time when the establishment of the four direction, you know, and trying to persuade the brothers into doing something else. But they persevere and continue to establish even the obstacles that Iktomi put in front of them. But they continue and establish the four direction because that was given the order was given by Cutt. And so it happened. And Ikto is always there someplace. Here in Anugite, they were the outcast from underground into this world before the humans came into existence. And so he was here already and doing things to those who come into this world before the humans came, and he trying to trick them. That was his way of getting at the creation of Iya, Manka, Shka, and we, you know. And he was a spirit, he was a leader with Wopre, and they established many things before the Oyate come into this world. And so Ikto always there. And because of creation from the blood of Iyam and the creation of the spirits, through that blood, you know, we have that. We have Ikto in us, Iktomi in us. And sometimes we use it in a way of getting something or trying to turn somebody in a different direction. It could be positive or negative, and yet we still have that. So sometimes it comes out and for us to deal with the situation in a way that, you know, we could get something out of that. And so even in your direction, the establishing of direction, Ikto was there, always there to do something and make people look foolish and laugh. That was his way. And so I'm pretty sure in your story that he was there. Ikto and Anugite, the two-faced woman, one part ugly and one part beautiful. And I'm sure in your readings you know why she was that way. You know, she was a person, a beautiful woman, who's so vain that, you know, trying to take the place of we place, and that's what the separation of the moon and the sun. We were told a long time ago that the moon and the sun always together as they travel around Unchimaka. But when that happened, Anugite trying to sit in the place of Hanwi, you know, the separation between we and Hanwi begins. So Hanwi went and we went and part of the darkness, the nighttime, she was there. And I think in September or August, you can always almost see the sun and the moon together. But because of the shame that provided she always covered her face, okay, when the we was here, close to him, close to we. And that tradition is still here in parts. I know Grandma used to, you know, have a shawl. When we went to town, she almost covered half of her face. And I know in other countries, I think India, you know, they do that. veil across their face. And because of that, a tradition from the creation story that, women cover their faces when they're in a crowd or in a crowd of men for that reason. They didn't want to show their face because of the shame that was put upon Hanwi. And so we know that some of the tradition that come from the spiritual beings, and we still maintain most of them, here. Today, I don't think we forgot about that, and, we most of our tradition that make that person a male and a female. And also because of Ikto, Ikto always there to address issues that he concocted and force or trick the people into doing things that are not, make people laugh. I think that's one reason, so that others will laugh at that person, to ridicule or trick them into in a situation where they have to do that. And in reality, it's here. We have Ikto. I'm not talking about you today, so don't worry. I'm talking about the spiritual being, which we have, in fact. Every one of us have the spirit of Ikto, Iktomi. In all the things that Lakota people used to believe long time ago, today we just talk about it, because majority of us are caught up in a Western culture that, some of the Lakota people think that it's necessary, important for us as people. We somehow took the Western culture real hard and established ourselves in that area. Like, for instance, today, we have a lot of things that are convenient to us. When the Pteoyate, when they emerge from the wind cave into this physical world, once again they met with a negative spirit or forces that are already here. And Ikto already planned those, had a plan that the Pteoyate will come into this world. He sent a wolf into the caverns with things that, Ikto have, meat, clothing, and everything that, take it to Tokahe in the spirit, and curiosity won that Tokahe came into this world. After a while it was good. Ikto was really nice to them. And then Anugite showed her the ugly side, and it scared the people away, and they were lost. They were roaming around, and it is hard for them. And so Ikto went and took control for a while, but after some spirit came into this physical world and addressed the issue to to the people, especially the Ieskas, the interpreters. And after that they began to understand one another, and began to understand their spirituality and also their physical being, the things that has happened, and they were complacent in it. Now it's not anymore. They have to work hard. They have to understand their way as human, Vichasha, humankind, and began to work together. And when the buffalo Pteoyate, the Pte were here already, to help the people that came out into the physical world. And long time ago they said the buffalo usually roam where they camp, close by. So whenever they wanted, they're hungry, they would go out. They're not that far away, but they do have ceremonies, and they kill one. The one that separated itself from the herd and stood by itself, that's the one they kill. And they usually have a feast and, help one another in that way. If a person killed one, they share. And that was all right. That's how they were. And until one day, I'm sure Ikto was involved in it. Some warriors went and shoot him at a random, killed him at a random. And the Buffalo Nation began to wonder, what's going on here? We are to provide for this human, and yet they are doing this. It's hard to understand. And we were warned before that they were to come up. You cannot trust them anymore because they're different. When they come into this world, they're different. Their mindset will be different. And you have to understand that, as Shka told the Buffalo Nation, you have to be careful. And they're vicious because they're in a world where, they don't fully understand it. And that's why they have ceremony. That two ceremonies that they come up with is the Inipi and Hambaleche, or the vision quest, or the purification, whatever it's called today. And those are the two main ceremonies that they come into this world with. And those two will need to be supposed to address the needs and the spirituality of the human race here in this world. But sometimes it is difficult when you have other forces that forces one to do things in an opposite way, and that's what happened to the buffalo. Pretty soon they had a meeting and said, okay, we're gonna make them work hard because we are to provide for them, but we're gonna make them hard. We're gonna run, we're gonna scatter, and now they have to follow us, because of things they have done. Probably a couple of warriors probably did that, but it ruined the whole thing for the whole tribe at that time. And so they scattered to all four directions, and no more of that. Just stand at the doorway of their homes and kill one of them, or the one that sacrificed itself. And now they have to hunt. So changes have occurred during that time, and I'm sure Ikto is there for that. He's probably laughing at them. Now they have to chase them. They have to pull their homes down and follow the buffalo. When they're hungry, they have to try hard to get that provision for themselves. It's a difficult. So that's why they have a lot of ceremonies, buffalo in a sense. They have ceremony for buffalo kill, or to look for buffalo, because that's their survival. That's their, just like Kmart or Walmart, the buffalo provides for them. They need hide for clothing, and everything that is in a buffalo is needed for their living. So the time began when now they have to hunt a buffalo. They move with a buffalo because of, as I said, negative reaction from some of their warriors. and now they have to hunt the buffalo. And they run too. They run for a long time, so it's difficult. And so today, Ikto is still within us, and it's difficult, make it difficult for us to attain modern way of life. It uses some kind of excuses for us, so that especially if it's education, he makes it such that we no longer feel like education is very important, or the only thing that entices us is the money that, to get things. In order for us to get that, Ikto come up with so many things that we use that in a negative way sometimes. And we always have excuses of not achieving a positive thinking in our lives, So Ikto is always there, but we could go beyond that. We have ceremonies that, even today, we have ceremonies that could help us. The one thing that is very important that would help is the Hambalecha and the Inipi. Hambalecha is you go out by yourself on an elevated area and then talk to a relative. Wachekia is addressing a relative. And then from there we could also find something or salvage something so that we could come down and use it effectively within our Tioshpaye and as well as to other nations, a progress or something that make us more stronger. And so those are the two, or even into Inipi. We need to go back into the wind cave, most likely, when you go into Inipi. All the elements are there, air, water, the heat. And so those are some of the things that we need to use to refresh ourselves to continue. Remember, when you come out of Inipi, you will see a buffalo skull there, a reminder that they were there to help and provide for us. And then we come out crawling out of that Inipi just like a little baby. And then we continue our life. Or from the vision quest, we are different because we put all the things that is holding us back, and when we go to vision quest or Hambalecha, then we're different. Our thought pattern is different. Our spiritual is intact and stronger. And sometimes our physical body might not be able to do a lot of things, but yet if our spirituality and our mental or emotional are stronger, then we could just about do anything that we put our mind to it. And so today, we need to go back to the things that Lakota people, simple things like go out on a hill and talk to our relative, Tongashila, and to Unchimanka, how she provide for us. She kept us on this manka and provide everything that we need, medicines that we need, water, air, the directions, the wakian, and many things that we sometimes take it for granted, and sometimes Makas send out signals. Today I think we have a lot of fires. Yesterday it was like a fog because I think there's a prairie fire north of White River, and those are signals that we need to look at in order for us, as people of spiritual beings, you know, and some signals are now coming into existence. We already have snow, you know, we already have, and it's still in October. I know the weather reporters are saying October or November, but it comes early. So I was thinking, you know, there's something wrong. Maybe it's what our great grandfathers are saying, how the sun is coming close to Monka, and then, you know, make an oval shape around again. So we're in these stages sometimes. So now we go back to the time when we have snows and storms, grain, a lot of fruits that, you know, we used to have a long time ago. Okay. I wanted to get some buffalo berries, and I seen some on the other side of the fence, and I should have went after them. I didn't. I went over there last week, and somebody trying to probably use a stick to knock those buffalo berries down, but it knocked all the branches and stuff off, you know, and I should have went after them before. So now I have to buy them. I have to buy cherries, plums, and buffalo berries. Of course, my body was not able to do the things I wanted to, you know, and so things are happening. Signals have been given to us by Unchi Manka. Remember, it happened 3 times. Manka sent out signals to go back to a proper thought pattern, our emotional and our spirituality. That's what holds Unchi Manka in harmony with all creation. But once we lost that, you know, then another cleansing might come, and the signals are out there, you know. You notice, was it 2-3 weeks or last month, the moon was real big, okay, and it turned red, and so we know there are signals out there, even in the heavens, our universe, as we call it. And so we may have to do some ceremonies and keep Ikto or Iktomi at bay somehow and get on a right track of who we are and how we come into this world by trickery, and yet we need to go beyond that. You know, in Lakota thought, in the Lakota thought and their philosophy, because it's the connection that we need is not there, and that's why a lot of things are happening, things that, you know, we thought, what's going on, and we need psychologists to do that. But first they have to get a PhD in psychology or whatever it is, and mental health people, you know. Sometimes a lot of our doctors are trained in a Western culture. They never look at us as people, you know, as what we need for our physical being. Sometimes we just need to talk. Sometimes we just need to be part of a Tioshpa that lives in harmony with Unchi Manka, practicing the tradition. And maybe a lot of these things wouldn't happen because I heard somebody say we lost our tradition, you know, and it's getting bad. And they talked about that, but what's the solution? How could we resolve all the things that are going on? And to me, it's simple. All we have to do is reconnect ourselves to nature, to everything that is surround us, and then we'll understand who we are. You know, we have a lot of suicide, a lot of sickness that, just like I was telling Makola here about my brother, you know, we talked about that. a lot of disease that are here, and that is caused by not understanding our traditional. I know some tribe in other countries are still practicing their traditional. Their nutrition is traditional. They're healthy. But we have convenience stores that microwave things, and we open a can and eat from that. And it is hard for us. It's a hardship in a different way. A long time ago, hardship was, drought, harsh winter, and all these things. But now, hardship for us is different. It really, our physical being is being hurt by that, So we have to really reconnect ourselves to the four direction. And as I written on a board last week, these are the things when we look at each direction, these are there. There are constant reminder of who we are and who the fourth son, one of the four sons, established that direction. We need to do that. We need to reconnect to the four direction. When we look at West, there are certain things that are there, symbolic things that we that's part of this Uchimanka, and we can always make connection with that, and our peace of mind will be established. But today, like I became saying today, but it is hard for us, even though trying to be traditional, and yet, it is hard for me to be traditional and the Western culture. The time is really important, This morning I had to wake up at 6:30. The radio rang, woke me up. A long time ago. It's a natural thing of a long time ago, because your body, the time clock in your body, wakes you up at certain time, and then you can go and reconnect yourself to that other person. When we were born, there's another person was established, and they call it mirror image. Then we usually come out and take a cup of water and drink it and give it back to Unchimaka. And at that time, that other you will send its energy to you. So if you feel grouchy, angry, whatever, you're going to be like that all day. But if you feel happy, embracing the sun as it comes up, you're going to feel happy all day, And those are the things that Lakota people practice. Or sometimes they go to a creek and they pray, or put some of the either sweet grass or whatever in the water to tell the Wiwilawichasha that they're the guardians of the water, that and that needs to be continued. And it's difficult because sometimes when we don't have that water. Today they dammed a lot of these ravines where water continually come into the creek, and it was dammed, so it's hardly, most of the water in the creek are not really healthy, because as you know, Unkche is the have the power over water. That was her domain. So a lot of the things in that water is not good for us, and it was planted that way from beginning of time. Unkche said, I will take revenge upon Unchimanka because Manka cast out the Unkche into the waters. And so from then, whoever drink of this water, will be like fish, or will have ears like a seashell, or the head will be disformed. And that was made long time ago, in the beginning of time, and yet now we're having that, you know. Water, alcohol is made from water. And so the alcohol is made from water. And so a person who's having a child drink a lot of it, and then we have that FAS and all that kind of stuff. So it's now beginning to, Unk is beginning to kept his promise of doing that way even into this future, you know. We have deformed children, and because long time ago they had protection. The the turtle was for the female. The salamander is for the boys as a protection against this kind of revenge from the spirits. And I think today some of them began to do that. You know, umbilical cord was placed in a one of this symbol to protect them from when they're young drinking water. You know, it would be a sickness that happened to that young child. And so these are the things that we need to understand, even though it's way back then and today a lot of these are coming into effect by these spirits. Okay, so we need to understand that. And there are times we have ceremonies that we need to call back our young children's spirit, because they always say, when you go out into the wilderness, out in the country someplace, make sure you call their names back 4 times before you come back to your home. Otherwise, Anugite will take the spirit of the child and probably give that spirit a bad time, the child, and then torment him and, you know, do things with that spirit of that young child. And that young child will be listless, or, you know, today we have a cliche called good for nothing, this kind of stuff. And so these are things that Lakota people always trying to practice, especially a child when he reached the age of 12, they began to teach them these things. Now they began to become adults, young adults. And these were the things that always, whenever women have a Ishinanti living by himself ceremony, they were told this kind of stuff, spiritual things that incur in a lot of the lives of the female. Okay, females are important because they are the creators of a nation builders, just like Ian. Okay, and so it's important that they teach the young women a lot of the things that is needed for the children or the spirits of the children. So women have a lot of ceremonies, simple ceremonies. Probably will only take about 5 minutes ceremonies, or 10 minutes, you know, to show that what you needed is put out right away, you know. Don't take that many time, because once your mind understand the concept of ceremonies, you know, you need to do it right away, you know, rather than waiting. I'm going to wait till my relatives come and all this kind. But you need to do it right away, you know, so the spirits will be there, understanding what you're trying to do, you know. And so today it's different. We always wanted others or certain time to do this, but Lakota people, they do it whenever it's there, you know, intuition or whatever, as women usually call them, there, and they do it, you know. Only one person could do these things, usually a grandma or a grandpa. So we have a lot of ceremonies that, you know, could be done. And we can use the direction to do this, Sometimes some ceremonies require to do in the direction of the east, where the sun comes up. Only the medicine man or the one that understands spiritual leader do things using the west as their vocal point in their lives. But as a common people, sometimes they use ceremony facing east, so sometimes Inipi usually faces east, and for ceremonial use usually faces west. Okay, and that's how I learned it when I was growing up, and I was the doorkeeper of each Inipi. So I know that. Just a social Inipi, that faces east. Ceremonial usually faces west, because if somebody wants to go into the Hambalecha or other ceremonies, they use that. Because a lot of okay. Versteht. Each tribe, each Jewish will have their own how they place animals, trees, plant in that direction, and that's how they see it. That's how they dream, their vision. So whatever you put in each direction, that's yours. That's how you envision it. You just cannot say west is bear, not buffalo. You cannot say that, because that person had that vision and place it there. So they're not wrong. Once we do that, Ikto make us have a confrontation with each other. So what do you believe in and establish in that direction? That's yours. My Eddie might say, hey, that is a mountain line and a west side, but that's his belief, That's his comfort. So you cannot confront him unless Ikto is there to make you do that. And the boy likes to do that, and makes you and Ed argue and laugh, That's when your sense of involvement in that direction with whatever entity or animals, whatever grass, he'll laugh about it, because he makes you do that. Even in setting the formation of the direction, I guess, was Ziata was supposed to be the primary or principal direction. But he's ornery, so they took that and place it in the west, So west is more of a challenge for everybody. Night comes from there, Emotionally, you might be afraid, or the thunder beings come in a dark, especially with a tornado, whatever, you can see the darkness of that side. And so that's where they put bravery as one of the virtues. You have to be brave enough to face that situation, and whatever is placed there, like you said, other thing was placed there. You probably heard that from someplace, and you believe that, and that's good. I'm not challenging you, but I'm just giving you information of what I was told, and so my belief and your belief are, we still understand Tonkashila as a creator. As we finish off with the conflicts of the spiritual and the physical, how it affects us, how each Tioshpai or each tribe have their own, concept or sense of their spirituality. How people do different things, especially the colors of the directions. Some have different colors for different direction, and that's their vision, that's their dream, maybe of their medicine man, and they're right. That's how they do it, or how we do things in a different from. Even in our own Tioshpai, our own communities, we do certain things differently, and that's how they do it, But sometimes, like I said, Ikto is there to create a conflict between this kind of things. He makes us say, "Oh, that's not right," and we began to argue, and then we lost a sense of who we are, or what we believe, and then it sets us apart, and that's what Ikto always wanted to. He always there to confront things that are positive, and sometimes might be all right, in that sense. See how the other people feels, the Tioshpai, and so not everything is really the same. There's a little fluctuation in a lot of this, our journey in this world, because sometimes we do things we know that we could do, and we believe that we could do, and that's our prerogative. That's ours. That's how we believe. And things that are happening today, like I said, we every creation have beginning and an end. They die. They were created, or born, or grow, and they die. And that's part of. Sometime our spirit wanted to go back into the spirit world, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. We may prolong the physical body, with modern machine. We could make it breathe, but in reality, the spirit is not there anymore. We might take that person to a medicine man, but the spirit might just prolong it for a couple days, and that would be it. They're not going to stand in a way of a person who needs to go back into the spirit world. And as a lot of things that are created die, and that we believe they have spirit, trees, and everything that is on this world, are moving, are living. Everything is living according to Lakota people. Even water dies. Everything dies. I was talking with Grandpa one time when they built a dam above where we live, and Grandpa was not very happy about it. But that water's gonna die, and it looks like water, but it's not as it was before. Things in it dies, and it's just a liquid. Doesn't support nothing or give life. And one thing he explained was like two hills, and there's a water goes to the tributary into the water system. Okay. In these areas, when the rain comes, there are some plants here. When the rain comes down, it takes this property, the medicine, and then bring it down to the main stream. And so as it goes, a lot of other plants here will nourish from that and grow healthy. Okay? And as it goes along, the medicine, and whoever drinks it, you know, it'll have some kind of a medicine, healing, whatever it is that's there downstream. Okay? But now we build a dam here. And so all those things comes here and dies in that water. And nothing comes out.